Industry Uncut. Our daily shows are powered by CoreLogic and supported by Printforce, Rockend and Realty.com.au.
Hi and welcome to today's episode. We're here today with Matt Lancashire from the amazing market in Brisbane. Back with you shortly.
In today's market, great ideas alone simply aren't enough, but innovative execution can hand you a real competitive advantage. Nightlight is a cutting-edge illuminated signboard by Printforce that offers round-the-clock visibility and features that maximise advertising space, improving your exposure. Buyers can now see the full picture, day or night, with Nightlight's edge-to-edge illuminated surface, which utilises environmentally friendly, scratch-resistant technology. Nightlight is as versatile as you need to be in today's market.
So Matt, great to have you here.
Thank you very much. I'm pumped. I always love doing stuff with you guys, so it's much appreciated. Sorry, we're in a busy environment, so I hope you don't mind. As long as you can hear me, we've still got people coming and going on the phones, all of those sorts of things. So please excuse that in the background.
I think everyone's going to really appreciate the activity that's going on in your office. And look, you've built amazing business with incredible momentum. One of the things that I think would be great for everyone tuning in to hear is, you know, what's been your journey and sort of were there any significant shifts that happened that really made the difference?
Yeah, sure. So look, this is my 15th year in real estate. So bit of a milestone this year, which is pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Or commiserations. I don't know which one yet. But it's, no, well, we're just hitting our straps now. Like I just feel like this right now. I'm in a position where, you know, it's been 15 years of really hard work has got me to this point where the business is just going like this at the moment, which is amazing. And we'll talk a little bit more about why and how that's happening. But previous to real estate, I finished school in '98. So I'm 39 years old now, 40 next year. Oh my God. Look, when I started I was a Sparky by trade. Finished my apprenticeship, absolutely hated it, and got out of it and decided to get into real estate. My now business partner and friend and mentor, Hazley Cush, bought Ray White New Farm in 2005. And I came back from overseas and joined him in 2006. So that was my first start back then. And look, my first year was probably, my first year was awful. It was back in the time where you didn't need debit credit. There was no wages or anything like that. It was just, you know, sink or swim style thing. Here's your phone, here's your marketplace, start picking up the phone, go drawn off, all of those things. And by the way, we're not paying you a wage. You got to sort of earn that. In my first year, I looked at my graph. We've got this new thing with Ray White called Pulse, which is amazing. It tracks your years of growth. And in my first year, I did $3,070 in the first year. And, you know, being 25 years of age and having to go home and live with my parents, I moved out of home when I was sort of 18, and to go home at 25 after traveling the world, buying a house, all of those things, and moving home at 25 to start a career in real estate was a really humbling experience for me.
And Matt, I think this is a really important point. So that in itself creates some mirror work for yourself. Like, what am I doing this for? Like, far out. If I stayed as you know, in my trade, I'd be, you know, much more further ahead than I am right now. Yeah. The other thing I see a lot of new agents do, they see someone like Matt and they see you doing what you're doing and they go, you know, how come I'm not there yet? Well, you know, you're the overnight success in over 15 years.
Years, yeah.
And it's such an important point that you start to have people get clear on that. And I sometimes talk about the fastest way to get depressed is compare yourself on your worst day with someone else on their best day.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got to run your own race in this business. So you've come a long way since that first year.
Well, look, there was about 3 years of being unsure. You know, I questioned myself a lot as to what I was actually supposed to do, why I was doing it. You know, a lot of people get into real estate because they think, you know, oh geez, it's a really easy way to make quick money, which is complete fallacy. Then also you've got, you know, they think it's nice because you get to wear nice suits, you get to drive fast cars, you get to go and have coffee. And there's this wonderful term that I sort of think is completely irrelevant in your first 5 years of real estate, and it's called work-life balance. Because if you come into real estate and you think that there is a thing called work-life balance, you are wrong. It took me about 3 years to go, okay, well, what do I sort of need to do here? Because it's just not working. I was thinking about getting back into a trade. I was thinking about going and getting a 9-to-5 job. I literally had holes in my shoes. I had holes in my suit. I was embarrassed, to borrow. I borrowed some money from my parents. I'd never been in that position before. And, it got to a point, and this is the best thing I've ever heard in my life. It was from Hazley, and he said, how low does your bank account have to be before you start to do the things that generate income? And if you think about it, how low does your bank account have to be before you start doing things that generate income? It's like, okay, well, shit, where am I losing out here? And, I got to a point where I got to around about 250, 300 in GCI, and it was like, still was okay. Like, I was happy with it, but I wasn't, really pumped. And it got to the point where I went, okay. And this is one word that anyone that's listening to this, I hope it's all about light bulb moments, right? Like, and it's,
Absolutely.
and there's one word that I think is really underrated in real estate. And I think it's the word serious. So being serious about it. And, so I decided to become serious. And, so I flew down to Sydney. This is when I borrowed some money off my parents. I bought a new suit because my suits were horrible, and I bought an air ticket to Sydney, and I went down and I met a couple of agents down there. And I met one agent in particular, which was a game changer for me, which was effectively all I wanted to know was a couple of things as to see what the success of that agent was. And from meeting these three people and then having a conversation with them, there were three things that have completely changed the whole landscape of what I do today. And it's like the best secret for me. Well, it's the worst best kept secret, if that makes sense. And I met with this guy, James Dack, and he was, I don't even know whether he remembers meeting me or not, but he was instrumental in everything that he did for me. And I remember getting a copy of the Wentworth Courier down in Sydney, and he was the king of Paddington and Wallara. And so I went on and I literally got the Wentworth Courier before I met him. And the first 15 pages of the Wentworth Courier were James Dack. And it was like, wow, like that, this guy's successful. And so I met with him, and it took me a while to get the time. And when I met him, he said, there's three things. The first thing that you should do is become dominator of print in your marketplace. So I thought, okay, well, he's living, breathing this. He's got, 15 pages in the Wentworth Courier the week that I was there. The second thing he said is become an auction agent. Process your auctions. If you list auctions, you can control your income. And then the third thing he said was pick and beat an agent and outwork all of the rest of the competition. And I thought, wow, like this light bulb clicked, right? And I remember going back to Brisbane, and in our first sales meeting, there was about 7 others in the office. But this is when Ray White New Farm first started. We now have over 122 staff in the group, and this was the 7 of us sitting in our sales room. We had about 500 meters of space as well. So it's and Hazley's like, all right, Matt, you've been to Sydney. Can you just share with me what are these secrets? And I said, you've got to get big ads, you've got to do auctions, and you've got to work hard. And all of Hazley was sitting there going, mate, this is like what I've been talking about for the last 3 years. This is what Ray White's been talking about for 100 years. So this is why I bring it back to light bulb moments. And for me, my light bulb moment was, I'm going to become the #1 advertiser in the Courier Mail, which I became. I'm going to do more auctions than everyone, which I did. And I'm going to outwork all of my competition. And that's what I also did as well. And from that year on, my income has doubled and doubled and doubled. And even still today, I ended up with our team got the growth award for GCI in 1 year growth from the year before. And that's just this year. So the target this year, we've done over 2 a couple of times now. So the target now is to do 3 for this year. So it's, and look, that's with running a great team. So I've got a PA, an associate, and a team manager. And we're looking to expand to 1 more. So see how we go with that.
That's great, Matt. And listen, what I love about this is that there's that concept of when the student's ready, the teacher appears. So you're at the right place to hear those particular messages. Yep. So those who are tuning in, make sure you're at the right place to hear those messages. And as simple as it is, what are the 3 things that are going to make the difference? And, you've got to outperform your competition. So what does that look like? And it doesn't matter who the competition is. You just got to be better than them. So yep. I love the fact that you took that on board, fully embraced it, and put it into go mode. We're going to come back tomorrow and talk more about your lead sources and where a lead's coming from. Matt, been absolutely awesome having you on the show today.
Thanks, Michael. Cheers, mate.
The Daily RE Uncut Show is powered by CoreLogic and supported by Printforce, Rockend and Realty.com.au. Realty.com.au is where you will see all our shows. Real Estate Talk, The Property Show, Auction Update and of course RE Uncut. We are the home of property.